Right now, a historic lake effect snowstorm absolutely clobbering western New York with snow. It's stacking up in feet, not in inches. And this event is not over yet. Thanks for watching Weather Underground. I'm Alex Wilson.
And I'm Dr. Rick Knabb. Travel crippled in this part of the world, both on the roads and in the air. And conditions are continuing to get worse. And we have a couple more days of this to go.
Yeah, and it's not just in western New York, by the way. We've got really awful road conditions across Pennsylvania. We'll walk you through that in a minute. But take a look and listen. Yep, that is thunder snow. No wonder Jim Cantore is up there, right? We have just such active weather taking place across the Great Lakes. Cold air, warm Great Lakes, perfect scenario for some convective activity. And Dr. Knabb, that air is rising rapidly, and we've got thunderstorms.
Yeah, and over Lake Erie last night, you could see rotating like mesoscale lows, and they would have a burst of lightning in them. And then all the last 24 hours when the bands hit Buffalo, continuous lightning right when it hits land.
Yeah, this is going to inspire meteorologists in the future. You know, so some kids out there experiencing this going, I need to know more. And then this is the result, Dr. Knabb. The kids love this too. This is Hamburg, where they've already seen over 3 feet of snow. Yeah,
so if you've always wanted to study convection, it doesn't have to be severe convection. It can be severe snow convection. And the impacts are tremendous. And dealing with this much snow is physically demanding and dangerous if you're not careful.
You know, we talked to the National Weather Service there in Buffalo yesterday. They said, give yourself breaks. And that's why you see people are out there shoveling now. And I think sometimes people watch from other parts of the country and go, why are they clearing it now when it's still coming down? You've got to stay ahead of it.
If you wait, you'll never get out there until maybe spring when it melts.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got to think about our roofs as well. And as you pointed out, think of your friends, neighbors who may not be able to get out there and do the work themselves.
Yeah, I think the two most life-threatening aspects of this event are the roads, but also overexertion, and we've seen that in past events like this.
Yeah, so many times. So if you're a youngin' and you want to make a few bucks, go out there in the neighborhood and advertise your skills.
And you'll be doing some favors for people who really need the help.
Yeah, you'll be doing some good business too, because this is still what's yet to come, Dr. Knabb. So we've already seen over 3 feet, and now could see another 2+ feet.
This would be enough of a storm. But when you've already had 3 feet in some spots, I mean, this is really going to be up there in terms of historic lake effect snow events.
We looked at some of those 4-day totals yesterday. This is going to go down, and maybe not for the city of Buffalo, but for some of the surrounding areas. Although Buffalo, you're going to get in on it this afternoon. Want to get you caught up on what we know right now. More than 100 flights have already been canceled at Buffalo Niagara International Airport. A state of emergency has been declared there in Erie County, New York. And in case you missed it, you're living under a rock. The NFL has moved Sunday's Buffalo Bills Cleveland Browns game from Buffalo to Detroit. You're like, why? Here's why. Yeah, that is the stadium there. Highmark Stadium in Orchard Park, New York, and it's in there somewhere. Where do you even put your beer? Where do you even put yourself, right? Like, where's my seat? Oh, there it is. This seat's taken by a mound of snow. So they don't want to have to deal with, the logistics of trying to get that stadium ready and playable for an NFL game, but also thinking about the logistics of getting folks to the game. It's still going to be, tough out there on the road. So going ahead and moving that to Detroit, and they'll be playing in Detroit on Thanksgiving as well. So maybe they'll just stay and make it a nice week out there in southeastern Michigan. These are the totals that we've seen so far. So again, this is not counting what I just showed you on the floor. That's snow still to come. Some of these areas could end up over 4, even over 5 feet by the time all is said and done. Hamburg, you've seen 37 inches, 36 inches in Orchard Park. In Elma, 30 inches, plenty of spots over 2 feet as well. So the snow, the hits, that keep on coming as that band is just set up and nearly stationary. It'll move every few hours, but man, this afternoon we have seen it, just holding tough over that part of the South towns. Lake effect snow warnings, not just around Buffalo and South, but also into the North Country, Tug Hill Plateau area, Watertown. You've seen some big snow today. And then winter storm warnings over into parts of Michigan, where we've seen some heavy snow. Snow into Pennsylvania, prompting snow squall warnings. That's for that quick burst of snow that makes things really dangerous on the road. So even though accumulations are going to be minor there. Still, the snow causing problems. Obviously, what do our eyes go to? Southwest parts of New York, North Country New York, where another foot and a half, 2 feet is possible. 3 to 5 inch totals there across Michigan, where we've seen some of the heavier bursts of snow continuing. Same for off of Lake Ontario, off of Lake Erie. But you see down into Pennsylvania, where we've got those areas outlined in purple. These are those snow squall warnings I was telling you about. So they're moving, they're transient here, but where you get into this deeper shade of blue, it's a wall of snow. And if you are in your vehicle, you are going to have problems. You are going to have problems. If you're at home, fine. This is not going to be life-threatening. But if your phone's like beeping and going crazy and you're like, why? You know, this is life-threatening to drivers. So if you get that alert when you're out and you're in a safe spot, pull over. Don't be out there on the roads when these snow squalls are moving through. Visibility is near zero. So Armstrong, Indiana, and Westmoreland under that snow squall warning right now. I want to take it to New York. Chris Bruin, our meteorologist, is live in East Aurora, not too far from Orchard Park. Chris, it is incredible. You got to be having a blast. You know, this is a part of the country that's snow savvy, but even for these areas, these folks have been like, this is a little much.
Yeah, I mean, I can't even, I don't even know where to start. It is just absolutely wild. Now, we were in downtown Buffalo this morning, and we're like, okay, we had about a foot of snow there, but it was actually sunny. And then a band would come through and last 10 minutes, and then, so we're like, this doesn't do it justice. We want to show you the raw fury of lake effects. So you saw Jim Cantori this morning in Hamburg. Well, we wanted to get a different location just to show you how extensive this lake effect snow band is. And we're in East Aurora, all right? So we're in the south towns on the southeast side of Buffalo. Yesterday, we drove out here, and there was some snow on the ground, but it was much easier to get here. Took about 20 minutes, all right? This morning, it took over an hour and a half, and we weren't going much faster than 10 miles per hour. In fact, we made it here without slipping and sliding until we got into the parking lot of the inn that we're staying in, and we got stuck. But at least it was at the parking lot. We're here, and we're safe and staying put through the duration of this event, because I don't think anyone's getting out. I mean, the plows have been through. I keep wiping my hand off of my iPad, and within 20 seconds, it's completely covered. The best way to describe it is raining snow. So really quickly, I just want to show you, look at the weight of this too. Look at the trees. I mean, these are beautiful, but look at the weight. I mean, it just is caked on everything. I don't even know what this is. I have to say there's a fence in here somewhere, but it gives you an idea. I feel the fence. It's somewhere in there. But it gives you an idea just how deep we're talking about. And then it drops off under there. So you get an idea just how much snow we're talking about. And it's like this all the way down. Let's pan down here, Mark, and just show you. This is Grove Street. And then Main Street is just about 2 blocks up, and it has been relentless. This is what you call raining snow. I don't know any other way to describe it. I mean, and not only that, we've had thunder snow last night that was on the order, I think I counted 15 lightning strikes. 15 lightning strikes. Just absolutely wild. We want to bring in the New York Governor, Kathy Hochul. She's joined us by phone. And Governor, you're a Buffalo native. What stands out about this storm?
Well, as you mentioned, the thunder and lightning strikes are quite extraordinary. The volume is higher than a normal Buffalo snowstorm. It's not something we haven't handled before, but we're expecting in my hometown of Hamburg and Orchard Park, where the Buffalo Bills play, we're expecting to have 5 to 6 feet of snow accumulated by Saturday evening there. So it's a lot, even for a Buffalonian. It's a lot to comprehend here. But, what we did because of this experience and having lived through so many of these, we were really smart about pre-positioning vehicles. Our utility crews have been very quick about restoring power. The snow plows are out in force through the night. And also having the driving bans and the commercial vehicle bans on our major roads has made a huge difference. So there's no one stranded. We've been able to take care of the disabled vehicles very quickly. And so we're at a good place now, but as we don't spike the football until we get through the whole event.
That's wise words. I was looking at the Google Maps, and there's just a lot of closed roads out there. going into this afternoon, this evening, and overnight tonight, what advice do you have for residents and people who may be visiting here from out of town?
No, absolutely stay off the roads, because the reason we're getting through this safely with minimal impact on our highways being jammed up, and we've had before, is if one jackknife truck can paralyze an entire throughway or major arterial, and we don't have that right now because we've been so good about keeping people off the roads. And I want people to continue doing that. They did a great job overnight. It allowed our salting crews to get out there, the plows. So that's why we're surviving this right now, is because of the cooperation of Western New Yorkers. I need them to continue that, even if it looks like there's a lull. Right now there's a lull over the city of Buffalo, but we know the bands are moving northward from the south, and they'll be hitting Buffalo this afternoon again. So don't take comfort in the fact that you see a clear sky right now, because this event is nowhere near over yet.
And I got to imagine, a lot of people were upset of moving the Bills game to Detroit, but it's all out of safety, just preventing, hundreds and thousands of people, of additional people from around the country coming into this area and then finding themselves stranded and stuck.
It is hard for all of us Buffalo Bills fans to have to watch a home game in Detroit, no doubt about it. But if you look at the pictures that you've been showing, that stadium, it's hard to imagine that the roads would be cleared and the seats would be cleared, and there could actually be a field that is visible by this time, kickoff on Sunday at 1 o'clock. So that was a decision by the NFL, but it seems like, in retrospect, a smart decision, because this event is not abating. And the snow is continuing, and especially in that the snow belt, which is right where the stadium is in Orchard Park. And I grew up literally minutes from there, so I'm well familiar with the roads in that area, and they can be really treacherous, dangerous for people to travel on. So we'll have to take the win from the road and and wait for the next home game.
And how long do you think it may take to really get the city kind of back up and running and kind of business as usual? Would you say really after the weekend, we're looking at early next week?
Yes. We are very quick about getting businesses back. People are ready to come back to their jobs. I mean, today was a good day. Remote work has been a blessing, and allowing people to stay connected to their offices because of what we went through during the pandemic. So there are some, enhancements now that we didn't have before. People can stay, working throughout the day without losing a day of income, which is important. So our businesses will be back, I think even later Sunday, but I'm not going to say with certainty. It depends on how we do clearing the roads. If people stay off the roads, it is so easy for us to clear them. If the roads are jammed up with motorists, once the roads reopen, it's going to be a lot harder for us. So that's the patience we're asking for all of the residents. And again, I became lieutenant governor exactly 8 years ago this week when we were slammed with the 7-foot snow event. And it's something that's quite extraordinary even for local residents, but we're very good about bouncing back very quickly. It's important. It's important to get, the economic engine going, get people back to the pizzerias and the grocery stores and the little businesses that are suffering with the closures today. So we'll be back just literally in a matter of days.
All right, appreciate your time and appreciate the update to New York Governor Kathy Hochul. Thank you so much for the update here as far as conditions go for locals across Western New York, where, it's crazy how things can vary, because it was, as I mentioned, before we got here to East Aurora, the sun was out and it was blue sky. So Dr. Knabb, I got to say, we didn't catch any thunder snow on camera, unfortunately, but it was the wildest thing. It wasn't just one strike. And I'm not talking about the lightning and then you don't really hear the thunder. I'm talking about these cracks and booms like you get in a thunderstorm. We had that in a snowstorm. It was and multiple times a minute at times where you would see the flash and instantly you would have that lightning. And enough to remind you, thunder snow is just as dangerous as real, thunderstorm lightning you get in the summer, even though it's just hard to get your senses to kind of grasp that phenomenon.
Yeah, it's not every snowstorm that we talk about one of the hazards being lightning, and it is just as dangerous in a snowstorm as it would be in any other kind of storm. Now, I wanted to show you why that happened. I've got a long radar loop to show you all the way back to last night to show you what caused this. And one of the general reasons is, yes, we have cold air going over relatively warm water of the lakes. And this is a multi-day event because big low over eastern Canada is going to continue to push westerly winds across the lakes and multiple disturbances. And right now we've got the banding set up over the entire 250-mile fetch of Lake Erie. And the winds at the surface are converging on the lake because of the acceleration here and the slowdown here. And you get some rotations there. And then the convergence once it gets to the other side of the lake. And the winds a few thousand feet up are going the same direction. So it's aligning things in bands. But I wanted to show you, this is just a few-hour loop, but I wanted to show you the 24-hour loop. Okay, this goes back to yesterday, and then look at this mesoscale low going across, boom, bunch of lightning, and then when that low got to Buffalo, a big crack of lightning, big outbreak of lightning, and then look at this. You've had lightning happening in just about the same spot right on the shore of Buffalo over and over again, because when the convergence happens, when it hits land, you get more upward motion, and it's already unstable. And that's why those really strong updrafts cause lightning in a snowstorm.